Hey everybody, it's Andrew Martin, the Spiritual Rebel, coming to you with another video on this beautiful Friday evening here in Seattle. I decided to take a walk, and on my walk over here was inspired to do this video for you, and it's absolutely gorgeous here. Although I have to say it was a little misleading. When I was in my apartment looking outside, it's been raining off and on all day, and it was actually pretty chilly earlier. Excuse me. I think I just inhaled a bug. When I was looking out my window earlier, it was kind of gray and a little cloudy. I thought, oh, it's going to be nice and cool. So here I am in my 14 layers and my hat, and it's like 80 degrees out. But I'll survive. But what I wanted to talk to you today is about this idea of the right time. Oftentimes, my clients come to me when they are at a point of making a big decision, or they're at a crisis point, or the things that used to make them happy and bring them joy and satisfaction just don't anymore, or they're lost and they're not really sure what to do. And oftentimes that requires them to make a big change and make choices that maybe are difficult to make, or maybe they don't want to make, or they're a little nervous or afraid about making. And oftentimes I hear them say, I just want to be sure that it's the right time, and I want to make this at the right time, and I want to move forward at the right time. And I completely understand the wish and the desire for it to be the right time. But what I find more often than not, the subtext to the idea of the right time usually is, I want to wait until this choice isn't hard to make, or I want to wait until I can make this choice without hurting somebody, or I want to wait until I can make this choice without it being difficult or inconvenient or uncomfortable. And the truth is that that's just not the way that life works. And sometimes, no matter what we do, no matter how well prepared we are, and no matter what our intentions are, some decisions are just going to be difficult. Some decisions are always going to be shitty decisions to make. If you think of big changes and big choices that people often have to make in their life, ending a relationship, laying people off at work, deciding to end a business, deciding to liquidate a business, deciding to, if you've got a family member who's on life support and who you are responsible for making that decision, having to make that decision, having to make the decision to put an animal down, having to make the decision to fess up to having, cheated on a spouse or a partner, like those decisions are just never going to be easy to make. They're just not. They're just some things in life that are always going to be difficult and are always going to be shitty decisions to make. And so what I would put to you is the idea that it is our intention that is important. Our intention is to move towards our truth. Our intention is to move towards our happiness. Our intention is to move towards our joy and our authenticity. Our intention is to take responsibility for the choices and our actions. Our intention is to be happier and to be freer and to be honest. And oftentimes those intentions guide us to decisions that, unfortunately for other people, aren't a happy decision. And oftentimes that requires us to move in the direction of something that makes us very uncomfortable. But that's just sometimes how the way that life works. And there is no guarantee, I've said this before, there is no guarantee that life is always going to be easy or convenient. And so get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with having to make decisions that may disappoint people. Get comfortable with putting yourself first in your life. I had a client who I was recently communicating with, and he's a very, very loving man and is in the middle of making a big decision that's going to be very difficult for some other people in his life. And I just said to him, of course this is going to be difficult. Of course you're unhappy and you want this other person to be well and to be happy, because you're a good person, because you have a good heart. But it's not a binary thing. You don't have to be a bad person to make a tough decision. And being a good person doesn't mean that you're not going to have to make some difficult decisions sometimes. And the question really becomes, is all of the love and all of the compassion that we hold for other people and all of the care that we hold other people within, when is it time for us to finally point that love and that compassion and that care to ourselves? That really is the big question. And in the midst of all these changes and in the midst of all this turmoil that's happening right now on the planet and within our own lives and all the big decisions that we're having to make, and much of it requires us coming to a point where we have to let something go and we have to allow an ending to come forward so that we can move on and that we can have a new beginning, it means that we're going to have to make some choices that aren't easy or convenient or comfortable. And sometimes that means that there is no right time. Sometimes the right time is when you decide that it's time. So that's it. I wanted to share that message with you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Hope wherever you are that you're happy and healthy and smiling. As always, go to my website, check me out there, let me know how I can help, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.